So we're going to have a conversation about finances and about what you need to buy for getting ready for college, and then we'll talk also about your first year of college and what kinds of expenses you need to be able to cover, in addition to the things that Dad and I all covered.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll start with, you have a savings account that we've been setting aside a little bit of money every month that you can use for getting ready for college, and there's about $3,200 in it right now.
Okay.
Okay? If you get a job this summer, which you've been talking about doing, you will have some more money that you can use for that, and we can put in an estimate of how much that might be.
All right.
Based on how much the hours you work and how much you might make and so forth. And then there's another, and then you'll probably also get some graduation gifts. And, and there's a savings bond from your grandmother. Do we know how much that is?
Probably about 1,500.
Okay. Okay. And then we can talk about what kinds of things you might want to get before you go to, to have for your dorm and so forth, before you leave. For your dorm, clothes, various things. And we can do some shopping to see how much they might cost.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to talk about summer job and how much you might make, or do you want to just
Sure.
start off with the, okay. So you are, you've applied for a couple of jobs?
One.
One, okay. So
Do you want me to do an estimate?
how much, so say you get the job at Target,
Well, a job anywhere, really.
a job anywhere really.
Because
Okay.
most likely that I'm getting paid minimum wage.
Which
So
is,
around $9 an hour.
okay. And how many hours a week do you think you?
Probably around 25 to 30.
So if we
25.
say,
I was doing it on my phone.
25 times 9,000 hours, 225
And Social Security.
per week. I know. Believe me, I know. How many weeks are there available in the summer?
Depends on when I move down to Oregon.
Yeah. So let's say for ease, let's just say 10 weeks times 25 hours times $9 an hour. That would be a total of $2,250, but we need to multiply that by a percentage. You'll probably get something like, I don't know how much taxes they'll take out. Say 80%. You'll get 80% of it. So about $1,800.
Okay.
Okay.
And is all of that going towards college?
Well, let's see how much you think you'll need, and then you'll see whether it all needs to go to college or whether you can do some other stuff during the summer.
Okay.
Okay. And of course, you'll have, you could say, I'm not going to use any of if I get gifts, graduation gifts from relatives and so forth, I'm going to use that for, fun stuff, expenses in Hawaii or whatever, when you're
Okay.
trip, things like that, so we don't have to add that in here if we don't want to.
Okay.
Um,
So should we go to expenses?
Sure, let's go to expenses.
Biggest thing is laptop.
Okay, biggest thing is laptop. Well, let's just put in a estimate of about $1,000 for the laptop. Is that
Okay.
more than, is that about what you think you would spend?
Probably.
Okay. We'll need to get some bedding. That would probably be a couple $100. So besides the things that you'll need to get ready for school, we should also talk about the expenses during the year that would be incidental expenses, not the major, tuition, books, room and board that we'll be covering, but the going out with friends or things you might want to buy during the year, and how much that will be, and whether you need to use some of your savings toward that, or whether you want to get a job during school to cover those things, and that sort of thing. So let's talk about what it's like as a college student and what kinds of things you might want to do besides just doing your studying, and you want to have fun and stuff. So how much would it cost to do the things that you would like to do? Going to movies, going out for dinner sometimes away from campus. Do you have an idea of how much you might want to have available for that?
You mean like per category or like total? Because total, I can't think of a number.
Okay, so think of it by category and see how much it might be easier to categorize it. So say movies. If you go out to a movie,
I don't go out to movies.
yes you do,
I go out because my friends want to go out.
but you don't think next year your friends will want to, the new friends that you make will want to go to movies?
I don't know. I don't really like, or
What about like concerts or something?
maybe like once a month.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be like minimal, like $15 a month.
Okay, let's just say 20 just for kicks. Okay. What else might you need money for?
Dinner.
Dinner.
Junk food.
Dinner out. Not. How often do you think you'd want to do that?
A couple
On the
times a
weekends?
month, maybe.
Yeah, and how much would you want to spend each time?
I don't know, 20, 30 bucks.
Okay, so let's say 60. What if you wanted to go up to see Claire in Linwood, in
McMinnville?
like McMahonville at Linfield, and you wanted to go out? How much would that cost you?
I don't know. 100 bucks?
Okay, so do that once a month or so?
I guess, I don't know. Fancy dinner.
You think that's enough time? I mean, enough per month?
What?
Only once?
I'm not saying I'm going to visit her once a month. I'm saying that
Oh,
we
to
could
go
go out
out
to a
and do
fancy dinner
something.
once a month.
Okay. 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 Anything else you can think of?
Gym membership,
The rec center,
mixed martial arts gym.
you wanna do a mixed martial arts, and then, MMA, gym. Okay, so how much will that cost?
Anywhere between $100 and $200 a month, probably.
Okay,
So
let's say
150.
Okay. Alright. What else?
Just
Miscellaneous
junk food.
junk food and stuff. How much for that? How much per week would you spend on that stuff?
I don't know, maybe like $10 a week, so like $50 a month.
Alright, let's see what the total is on that. 3,420 per year.
Seems kind of high.
It's kind of low.
Huh?
It's kind of low. Could be higher than that.
Things will add up.
Okay.
Things will add up. So, so that's kind of a reality check on how much you'll need, how much money you'll need.
Okay. And where does this money, like, how do I access this money?
Well, so let's go back to your college shopping list, because you're not actually going to spend a whole lot of what you have here. If this is right, I think you probably need some clothes too. You probably want some new clothes. So let's see. For that, and I'm not saying that Dad and I won't help with some of this too, but you would have $4,600 left according to this, assuming these things. So you would have enough, based on these assumptions, you would have enough to cover your first year's expenses and still have some left. Going into the next year, you would also then, you could get a job, the following summer, add to that, and try to get it, see how realistic this is, and try to earn enough to bring it back up to how much you would need. If you had some left over in at the end of the year, then you would need to see how accurate was this of how much money you needed, and plan for the second year and see how much you needed to earn during the summer before your second year, to bring it up to how much you would need based on the expenses.
Okay.
So that's what budgeting is. It's really just planning, what your expenditures are, what you can afford based on the resources that you have, how much you need to start with in order to be able to do what you want to do. That's what budgeting is.
Okay.
And it's just trying to get a realistic sense of how those two things are going to balance out, and not just like spend money and then discover that you don't have enough to do the things that you want.
Okay.